In this section, we're going to take a look at Facebook Markup Language, FBML. It's one of the primary tools that you use for developing Facebook applications. There are other tools, but FBML is one of the easiest to use, particularly if you're used to developing web pages with HTML. And what I'm looking at here is some of the code that's in my index.php file. This is the first page people see in the application that we'll be building throughout this tutorial. I'm going to come up here and copy that code and close that window. And now we'll come over here to the Facebook Developers section. This is the place you can get to from the Facebook pages that have a developers link at the bottom, which is most of them. And up here is a link to documentation and to tools. And I want to start by showing you the FBML test console. This is a tool that lets you enter FBML and try it out. So I'll go to the test console and we'll take a look at what is available for you there. You have an API key and the ID of the current user's profile, and you can try out FBML in various locations. For example, the most common one is the canvas. That's the main part of the page where you're going to be creating your content. It's within the frame that goes around a Facebook page. There are other areas that you can deal with, such as a newsfeed title or body, the profile, but the canvas is the most widely used one. What you do is you enter FBML over here, and in this case I just copied that code, so I'm going to paste that section of code in. Don't worry, we'll come back and take a look at this code and the structure of FBML later. Now, when you've typed or pasted your code in here, you click Preview, and that code is going to be passed to Facebook, and over here you can see what it's going to look like in the preview area. And this is what will appear on the page, or at least that part of the page, when Facebook reads your code. The HTML source is the code that is generated by the FBML syntax. And what this is showing you is that you write in FBML, and you may add HTML to it, but normally in many of your pages you are writing FBML code. It is sent when Facebook requires that page to be imaged. It takes the page, takes the FBML code, and then Facebook parses it and turns it into HTML, which it then returns with the Facebook frame around it to the user's browser. And in the preview you can see what it's going to look like. The reason for all of this is that what the user sees will look like this, and the way in which it will look like this is that the user's browser, which is how the users are accessing Facebook, will be interpreting this HTML code, because browsers don't understand FBML code, which is what's over here. You write in FBML, adding pieces of HTML if you need it. You write in FBML, Facebook parses it and turns it into the HTML that is then shown in the user's browser. And for example, you can see when I mentioned that you can extend FBML with HTML, there's a section up here at the top which is the tabs, these three tabs up here, and then there's a break which is plain old HTML, and you can see it here. And now we'll scroll down, and there's another section of code here of FBML code, a div, and you can see a div here, and then we come down to another div which is down here, and there's some additional code that follows that. So this is what happens. You write FBML code, and at the proper time it is parsed by Facebook into HTML code, and that's what gets sent to the user's browser so that your page is visible. That's the overall architecture. Now let's take a look within the FBML syntax and take a look at what happens there.